Hey guys, welcome to BitBoy Crypto, the most underappreciated and underwatched channel on all of crypto YouTube. That's right, guys. We broke an exclusive story 3 months ago regarding Justin Sun canceling the Warren Buffett lunch due to pressure from China, and now it's being reported as exclusive news at Block TV, even though we told you exactly what was going on back then. So we're going to be talking much more about that, along with Mitt Romney saying Homeland Security needs to investigate cryptocurrency as a threat to the nation. Let's talk about it after this. All right, guys, welcome to BitBoy Crypto, your one-stop shop for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Quinn and I from Mid-Earth Crypto are currently in Florida. We had an event where we spoke at UCF yesterday, the University of Central Florida, and we're having a good time. Hope you guys watch the live stream. Have much more on this whole thing that we're doing here pretty soon. But for today, the top stories we're going to be looking at, Justin Sun, exclusive news that isn't really exclusive, and what that means about his trip or about the Warren Buffett lunch and why it was canceled. Mitt Romney investigating crypto. He wants Homeland Security to look into it. He sees it as a threat to national security. We're also going to be looking at the stellar coin burn apparently making some people angry. Ivy League colleges using blockchain and how that came about. And we're also going to be talking about IOST raising compliance when it comes to Japanese regulations. So let's go ahead and start with Market Watch. Market Watch. I'm going to be honest with you guys, the markets aren't really exciting right now. Nothing seems to be really happening. Price hovering around $9,200. As you can see, the 24-hour, it's down just about 1%. But look at the 1 hour. I mean, that really tells the whole story right there, 0.0%. So I did a video recently where I talked about XRP getting a swell pump. Well, you got the pump. It didn't go nearly as high as I was hoping. I was thinking it would go closer to 50 cents. If we go and check, because that's what happened last year. It went to 80 cents actually from about the same levels. The peak of where it hit was about 31 and a tenth cents. So it didn't really get that high. But then it had a huge crash once the swell conference started. We've seen this with every conference leading up to it does get a pump. Wasn't as high as we wanted, but then the price has dropped down pretty significantly. It's back at about 29%. So I don't know. I don't know why it couldn't catch that big of a swell pump. But we look at the biggest winners of the day. We got Tezos, had some big news recently. We have DX Chain, Decred, Maker, and VeChain, all with over 10% gains. And then for losers, we have Chiliz, Eternity, Lambda, Augur, and Komodo. So let's go ahead and start moving on to the news. The number one top story of the day. Okay, guys, so Block TV is reporting that they have exclusive news about the truth about the Warren Sun lunch cancellation, the Warren Buffett Justin Sun cancellation. So it's weird that they used his first name and then Justin Sun's last name. That's kind of weird. But let's go ahead. Let's watch this clip, guys.
Welcome. This is Block TV with an exclusive report on one of the key players in the crypto industry. It was the story that everyone spoke about this summer, the $4.6 million luncheon with billionaire Warren Buffett that Justin Sun and the TRON Foundation paid for, hyped, promoted, and invited some of the key players in the crypto sphere too. A luncheon that the TRON chief, as we all recall, canceled last second, citing kidney stones as the reason behind it. But medical procedures were not what brought about the cancellation. As Block TV News has learned from a source close to the matter, the last-minute move came due to severe pressure from the Chinese administration, according to the information acquired by Block TV. Several TRON employees at the company's offices in China were held by Chinese authorities and threatened with detention unless that event was canceled by Sun. And as the source to the story detailed, lives were at risk.
So as you guys can see, a lot of that sounds very familiar since I said all of that. Literally the week after the event, as soon as I got home, I made a video about it because it was very obvious. So let's see what I said back on July 29th, 2019. Yeah, so obviously, Justin, there's been a lot of tension between the United States and China, trade war. How do you feel like that could possibly play a role in cryptocurrency between Chinese projects and the United States?
Yeah. I think TRON is a very decentralized project. It's also distributed, not just like US and China citizen take a part into the protocol. So I think as long as the protocol itself sustain is decentralized, I think we'll be fine even between the trade war.
Awesome. So the reason why I asked that question is because I got the feeling that there was something much larger at play here than money laundering accusations or kidney stones. There's something that caused China to want Justin Sun to cancel this lunch. And here is an article talking about a tweet from Ran Nunur. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I would just say his first name because I have no idea how to pronounce his last name. The plot thickens. Sources in China say the Chinese government believed that Justin Sun promoting the Warren Buffett lunch was a provocative act given current trade tensions. He has been told not to pursue the lunch. My sources believe the lunch will not happen. And I also believe that unfortunately this lunch will not happen because of this reason. And guys, that's not all. That I also believe that there was a possibility that members from the TRON Foundation had been arrested and maybe were being detained. But Quinn from Mid-Earth Crypto, you guys know we do a lot of stuff together, that he actually said that the same day I put out the video. So take a look at what he had to say regarding TRON executives in China.
Business associates, TRON executives were kind of semi-confirmed from what I've heard. I can't confirm it from the actual PR from TRX TRON Foundation, but again, it was a passive confirmation in my mind because it was an acknowledge of that it had happened. There were some Chinese executives that were stopped and detained, and he was pressured into delaying this lunch.
So as you guys can see by what Quinn said, Chinese executives from the TRON Foundation were detained. And this is something that we've been reporting for months. And it just feels like sometimes that, why do people not notice what we're saying on this channel? We're giving you guys exclusive news 3 months before it breaks in this case. People are acting like this is brand new. I know a lot of people watch my TRON video. It had about almost 4,000 views on it, I believe, somewhere around there. So, definitely some people did watch it. And the TRON community, I know, acknowledged the video. But for the greater community at large, I was just trying to tell you guys what was going on. It feels like sometimes, whatever I'm saying is going in one ear and out the other ear for people. But I really hope that you guys take away from this that you guys need to start paying attention to this channel because we've got connections, we've got news, we have exclusive stories that we're breaking before some of the bigger news agencies even have a sniff at it. So make sure if you're not a subscriber to this channel, you go ahead and subscribe. Also, go ahead and subscribe to Mid-Earth Crypto's channel as well. He's also putting out good information and doing videos from some of our trips and things like that. So make sure you subscribe to him as well. Story number 2. All right, guys, so Mitt Romney has now called on Homeland Security and the FBI to investigate cryptocurrencies. You guys can find this story at bitboycrypto.com along with our next story. And if you guys just go to this part here where it says join the Bit Squad and put in your email address, then you guys will be able to be entered for a contest this month to win a Ledger Nano S. I'll be picking a winner, like I said, at the end of the month. So it's a special edition Ledger Nano S as well. So not just a regular one. It is fancy. If you've been watching the channel, you've seen it displayed here before. You guys can see I've been looking at some cruises. I'm going on a cruise in a couple months. Look at that ad. Man, they really know what's up. But here we go. We got cryptocurrency threat to Homeland Security, says Mitt Romney. So Mitt Romney, the former presidential candidate, loser presidential candidate, as Donald Trump would say, loser, he has said now that certainly for us, cryptocurrency is already a significant issue, and we can project out pretty easily that it's going to become a bigger and bigger one. That is bullish right there, guys. I really want you guys to see that. Bigger and bigger one, implying that crypto is going to become a bigger issue because the government is now taking it serious. Whether or not that is subject to some kind of regulation, as the response is harder for me to speak to. The FBI is also in current surveillance of cryptocurrency. It's part of a broader trend in terms of the terrorist threat, in terms of our adversaries, once again, trying to paint cryptocurrency, as a terroristic threat instead of a threat to the U.S. dollar, which it is, of all shapes and sizes, becoming more facile with technology. What is that? Facile? I've never seen that word. That looks like Spanish to me. With technology, in particular, various types of technology that anonymize their efforts. The FBI director said, we're looking at cryptos from an investigative perspective. So Mitt Romney basically issuing this statement. He is a pretty significant U.S. Political figure from Utah right now. He's a senator, so he's not just a former failed presidential candidate. He is a senator right now, so he does have some pull. So, in my opinion, I think the more that politicians seem to speak about cryptocurrency, the better it is. The more they try to talk about the threat that crypto is, the stronger it makes its case. It is a buck to the status quo, and that is what we're trying to do. And Mitt Romney is the very definition of the status quo. Story number 3. All right, guys, so we obviously reported the other day on Stellar Foundation's supply of their crypto burn. Now, one thing that's really interesting is that there are a lot of people that are upset about this. I guess I didn't really think of it from this angle when it first happened, but a lot of people are upset because, how centralized is this, guys? We got Stellar burning the token for a quick price pump and to value the tokens that they do have out already. They want to make those worth more. And so without asking anyone or getting the community's opinion, they just burned half the supply. So what if the community didn't want that? And many people believe and have said that they were actually community tokens that they burned, or tokens that in the future would be community tokens. So I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Do you like what Stellar did? Like I said, I think it's bullish for the price, obviously. You've just removed the supply. But do you think this points to a level of centralization with Stellar that may not have been there before, or at least people were confident that it wasn't centralized? Because if a CEO of a crypto project can do this, then in my mind, that's definitely centralization. Now, people like Ripple and XRP, and a lot of people believe it's centralized as well. Some of the community would say it's not. But either way, the fact is, for Stellar to be touting itself as decentralized and then do this, then I don't think it really sent the right message to a lot of people. But you guys let me know what you think down below in the comments. Story number 4. All right, guys, so we got this story about how we got Ivy League students to use blockchain tech. And it's basically a story of students from Columbia University that started a crypto project, yup.io, and how that led to more people in college getting involved. And I think that the college generation and the high school generation is who we need to reach. That's why Quinn and I are going around speaking to different colleges. USC, we've already spoken at. Central Florida, we've got several in the pipeline. Florida State, Miami, UNC, Wilmington, Georgia State. Several colleges very interested in us coming there and talking about blockchain, explaining what it is and why it's important. So we did live stream our talk last night from the event at UCF. So check that out, guys, when you got a chance. But we do believe that this is the future, and this is what we have to do in order to bring in the next wave of developers and programmers and people that want to come into the blockchain space. Story number 5. All right, guys, so we have IOST. They are powering forward and raising compliance standards in accordance with Japanese blockchain regulations. And I think this is really a significant story from IOST. The reason being is because obviously in a world of regulation, we're heading much deeper and darker down that rabbit hole in cryptocurrency. It's very important that these projects stay compliant. If not, they're going to have a lot of issues. So recently in May, of 2016, the amended Act on Settlement of Funds was passed and took effect on April 1st, 2017. So that wasn't recent. But the recent part is, in order to comply with Japanese laws, IOST has been actively encouraging dApp development teams to build valuable dApps and working with casino dApps teams for solutions since September 2019. So let's face it, guys. We all know that the dApp space is filled with online casinos, and it's a great area for regulation, no doubt. I think in the United States, if the powers that be had their say, they would definitely say that these are not regulated casinos and maybe illegal. However, the question is, with this gray area that exists with regulation, will these casinos be in trouble? And I got to think that what is going to happen is we're going to have regulation that comes forward that says this is legal, this is not legal when it comes to cryptocurrency. So right now, I don't think any of these online casinos will be affected, and most of them are hosted overseas anyways. But in the future, once that regulation happens, then we certainly will probably see a big shift in the space. So it's really important for IOST, in my opinion, to stay compliant with any regulations that are in place. So with them trying to get more compliant with Japan, in my opinion, that's definitely bullish news. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. We'll be back tomorrow with another Fresh 5 video. BitBoy out.